written in tears and blood above debauched humanity are his words. These are they for whom I died. As I have been sent to reach them, so send I you to reach them. Because of the times 2008, I ask you, do you have a burning desire? Do you have a burning desire to quench his thirst for love of souls? What are you doing here? What is this all about? Are you a soul winner? If not, why not? Everyone you meet will soon be in heaven or hell. Family, friends, neighbors, everyone sitting on the pews you pastor, everyone you meet in the grocery store, everybody in the mall, the airport, the workplace will soon be in heaven or hell, a world without end. Last Wednesday night, our pastor quoted Dr. R.A. Torrey. I wrote it down. He said, I would like to know what right a man has to call himself a follower of Jesus Christ if he's not a soul winner. Jesus Christ was a soul winner. And he said, follow me and I'll make you to become a soul winner. So if you're not fishing for men, if you're not fishing for souls, you're not following him. Charles Spurgeon wrote, if hell must be filled, let it not possess one soul which was ever unprayed for, unimplored, or unwarned. I tell you folks, we're in trouble if we do not go after souls. You know what Jesus Christ said? Would you believe it if I read it to you right out of the scriptures? One of the teachers of the law asked Jesus, of all the commandments, which is the most important? And Jesus answered him, the first of all commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And you are to what? Love him with what? Come on, shout it, audience. If you don't know it, let me teach it to you. Love him with all your what? With all your soul, with all your strength. And this is the first commandment, and the second one is like it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as what? Say, there's none other commandment greater than these. Jesus said that is the first, and that is the greatest commandment. Love God preeminently. Love man as you love yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. It's the first, it's the greatest, it's the oldest, it's older than the 10 commandments, the written law. It's the first law of the universe. It was binding upon the angels before man was ever created. It was binding upon Adam in the garden before there was a necessity for any other command. This was written upon the very tablet of his heart. Shout it with me. Love God. Love God. Love man. Love God. Love man. That's the old path, folks. That's the oldest path. That's the good way. That's the only way. That, my beloved brothers and sisters, is the weightier matters of the law. God's thirsting love for all humanity is a good cause for great zeal. This is the message we desperately need to hear and implement today. But to be religiously zealous is definitely not a current cultural ideal. The dangerously zealous are not in vogue. But think with me. April the 14th, 1912 is remembered as the date of the sinking of the Titanic. It was a night where in a little over 3 hours, thousands of passengers lost their lives in the icy waters of the Atlantic and went out into eternity, a world without end. Following the sinking of the Titanic, the White Star Company, the company that had built the ship in Liverpool, England, placed a large board on either side of the main entrance to their office. On one board, they painted the letters, known to be saved. On the other board, they wrote these letters, known to be lost. But when the Titanic began its voyage, there were 3 classes of passengers. But when it ended, there were only 2. Those who were saved by the rescue boats and those who were lost in deep waters. And when the trumpet sounds, there will only be two classes of people: those who are saved and those who are lost. That's a good cause for great zeal. In your church, they're either saved or lost. We do not have a small, smooth, tasteless gospel. An innocuous, insipid Jesus is the result of social, political, economic, spiritual, money-motivated accommodation. The name that's above every name that can be named in heaven or in earth has heaven, earth, hell shaking, devil chasing power, and that's what we preach, and that's the gospel we say belongs to the whole world, and we're playing games with it. We're sitting on our laurels, we're housed up in our beautiful cathedrals, and the world is going to hell pell-mell. God helping me, I will do something with it. I will not live in this world for nothing. But if He will help me, I will. He has given me so much. His interest will be my interest. His life will be my life. His kingdom will be my kingdom. Whatever He told on the Sermon on the Mount, I will do my best to finally measure up to it, because I will measure up someday. His glory is going to be my glory. I will serve Him with all of my heart. I will serve Him with all of my soul. I will serve Him with all of my mind and all of my strength. On fire with a burning desire to quench His thirst for love of souls. Hallelujah! 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 The seed time of my lifetime will be a partnership with Jesus Christ, exceedingly zealous. Call me down anytime you want to. I'll pop up someplace else, because I just can't keep it to myself. I just can't keep it to myself. I gotta tell somebody. I gotta brag on Him. I gotta worship Him. I've gotta glorify Him. I've gotta do something about this. I'm gonna give Him everything I've got. If the rapture doesn't take place and they roll me up here, say, that's just the hull, the old wore-out hull. She's shouting on the streets of glory. I'll meet Him every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Shout that at me. Say, every day. Every day. Remember, He saves to the uttermost, to the guttermost, to the uppermost, the sensual, the profligate, the drunken, the profane, the rebel. You don't have to wait for these to ripen. They're already ready to be harvested. They're at your door. They're on your doorstep. And anything that robs me of my consuming desire to reach them, or seeks to destroy my fervent prayer life, or my insatiable hunger and unquenchable thirst for a greater knowledge and understanding of His Word, His written Word, or lessens or distracts my worship of Him, the living Word, I'll get rid of it. I'll get rid of it. Don't sit there, folks. You ought to make up your mind. Whatever is injuring you, hindering you, stopping you from giving yourself totally to God today, you ought to cry out, I'll get rid of it. Somebody ought to cry out today, I'll shake it off. I'll get rid of it, shout it. I'll turn away from it. I will. Oh yes, I will. Everybody shout that for just a minute. I will. Oh yes, I will. I'm going to heed the words of Deuteronomy 11 and 13 and Joshua 22 and 5 and 1 Samuel 12 and 20 and 1 Samuel 12 and 24, which say, serve the Lord with all thy heart. Say it with me. Serve the Lord with all thy heart. It's the message of the Bible. Solomon said, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. Do it with your dynamite. Paul said, whatsoever you do, do it heartily, with all the innermost being, as unto the Lord and not unto men. John said, whatsoever you do, do it faithfully. This is no unusual occurrence. In fact, it's the general rule of the moral universe that those individuals prosper who do their work with all their hearts. Not your lackadaisical, lazy, barely get by individuals, but those who are diligent in business, exceedingly zealous. A physician must walk the hospitals. An attorney at law must give days and nights to the folios of the law. The seed time of my life, I'm going to give him. Yes, Lord. I'm going to give you my all. I'm going to pursue the same direction. I'm going home to God. And I'm going to face him face to face. And I'm going to complete the work that he's assigned me to do. I'm going to get up every day and give him all I've got. In a disillusioned, war-torn, sin-smitten, diseased, terrorized world, I will be dangerously zealous for God's thirsting love for all humanity, always going in the same direction. 2 Chronicles 31, 20 and 21 tells us that King Hezekiah, in every work that he began in the service of the house of God, and in the law, and in the commandments, to seek his God, he did it with all his heart, and he prospered. I beg you, I plead with you, give God your best. Then expect his best. Whatever you do, wherever you are, be all there. Live to the hilt every situation you believe to be the will of God. Throw your hands up and say, God, pour that desire out upon me. Do whatever you do with both hands, with all your heart, with all the dynamite that's in you. Do it heartily. Put your whole heart in it. Do it faithfully, long term, long term, long term, in the same direction. God does not give harvest to idle men and women, except harvest of thistles. Let him stir your nest. Let him wake you up. When trouble comes, put the trouble in his hands and say, God, I'm turning back to you. He never did fail to turn back when any of his people ever turned to him. Hezekiah did it with all of his heart and he prospered. Are you listening? In the seed time of your lifetime, who would bring a pail of water to the river of life? Who would think of bringing a cold sandwich to the marriage supper of the Lamb? I'm not about to give him my leftovers. Who would bring a piece of tarnished gold for the streets of New Jerusalem? Who would seek to tie a basket of summer fruit on the branches of the tree of life? Who would bring a string of cultured pearls to decorate those beautiful solid gates of pearl that open into the kingdom of glory? What can you give him for all he has given? All that you have was his from the start. All that you have, it's a holy, a sacred life. It's only one life. Mine will soon be past. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to give every ounce of it. Every day, every bit of my strength is going into this. If I lose with him. But if I gain, I've gained for eternity. Is going to hell while we fiddle and play and discuss and discuss and discuss and discuss, rather than seek God who spoke from the burning bush to Moses and communed with him from above the mercy seat. Somebody's got to say here today, I made up my mind. I'm going to give him my all. I wish somebody would stand up and scream that at me. Go ahead, it doesn't matter. I don't even have to finish. Because that's the secret of the whole matter. You got to give him all or none at all. He'll not take 99 and a half. What we need is what God can do. And what God can do will be done when we seek Him wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly in this place. Throw your hands up right now. Wholeheartedly. Seek Him in your churches. Seek Him in your cities. Seek Him in your homes. Turn it over to Him. He will never say no. He will never turn you away. Come on and cry out. He's the answer. I wish it'd break out right here and I didn't have to finish. The last story we have from the life of the prophet Elisha. Jehoash, king of Israel at that time, went to visit Elisha on his sick bed. They'll seek you out if you've got it. If you hadn't got it, you better hurry up and get it. Before you face him with what you've been given, you better hurry up and get it. They'll seek you out. He went to visit Elisha on his sick bed. He knew that without the help of this great prophet, the future of Israel was looking dim. Enemies were closing in on every side, waiting for the kill. You'll get there too, and so will the people in your city, and so will your church. There's only one direction. Elisha told the king to take in hand some arrows. And the king, he gave him a solution. And we've got the solution. And the king took them, and Elisha told him, strike the ground. And he struck it 3 times and say, stopped. Say, stopped. Say, he stopped. Everybody shout that at me. This is no time to stop. I'm going to keep on striking till I'm on my deathbed. I'm going to keep on striking. Look at me. I look ugly today. I'm 82, nearly about years old, but I'm going to keep striking. I don't care what others do. I don't care if they mock me. They have. They'll continue to do it. I don't care. I'm going to keep striking the ground. I'm going to keep striking the ground. I'm going to keep striking. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep witnessing. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep shouting. I'm going to be in every service if I can. Come on, somebody. That's what you got to get a hold of, or you ain't going to amount to nothing. Nothing. Zero, nothing. And the man of God was angry with him. Say angry. You should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times, then you would have defeated your enemies completely. I'm not going to give up. But now you will defeat them only 3 times. Elisha was angry because the king was, say, nonchalant. He was passionless, indifferent, innocuous, insipid. He gave the ground a whack or two because his heart wasn't in it. Get your heart in this, folks. Get your heart in it. Get your heart in this. And God says, in effect, if that's how little you care about the future of the people, that's all the help you will get. If your heart's not in it, neither is mine going to be in it. That's enough for me to know. And I can tell you, you can't lead a church, a family, a business, or a career with an attitude like that. There must be a wholehearted desire, always going in the same direction, faithfully long-term with devotion. We have a good cause for that kind of great zeal, exceedingly zealous. The church in the book of Acts was all on fire, dangerously zealous. She was like a volcano. They believed and acted upon what they professed. They knew what they spoke to be the truth of the gospel. They testified to what they had seen, and they spoke with an unconquerable, untamable energy which toppled the iron power of Rome and dashed it into shivers. It was not their scholarship that captured the then known world. For on the slabs in the catacombs, I saw with my own eyes decisive evidence that they could scarcely spell their names. Neither were they the most talented or the wealthiest, but they were the most zealous. They were dangerously zealous, even unto death. The book of Acts is their unforgettable history.